This is a response video for Project 10, which is Love and My Name is Red. And I'm going to be responding to Nathaniel Thomas, Belle Arguello, and Michaela Clark. So first, Nathaniel Thomas. Something that really stuck out to me was that he said that true love is sacrificial love. I found that really interesting, and I totally agree, honestly. And he said, how much are you willing to give up for a person is what's really important, and not really how much you get from the other person, but it's really how much you give up. And that was very interesting to me. I do agree. I do feel like when you love somebody, you are willing to do anything for them, and willing to sacrifice. And like when you think about it, like people always say that like when you think of like marriage, that it's always compromising. So something you always have to sacrifice or give something up for the other person. So he said that Black and Shakur is a picture of romantic love, longing and Black's desire and longing for Shakur. That's one way to look at it, as well as Shakur. She's kind of struggling, having to get over like societal expectations, as well as how her husband has left, and then having to navigate like through that new, I guess, Black coming back into her life, and her having to kind of raise her kids on her own of a sort, and just having to make do with the situation. He kind of highlighted that, and how Shakur through all of that is has a protective love, and I thought like, yes, a motherly love, and I highlighted that in my video as well. Like Shakur and her sons, that's a familiar love, like a motherly love. And so he ties it all together by mentioning that both romantic and protective love play into sacrificial love. Like, what is Black going to sacrifice to love Shakur? And then what is Shakur going to sacrifice to have to like love Black, basically? What is she going to sacrifice to protect her sons or love her sons? So that's something. And I found that really interesting, as well as I liked how he tied it all back together. He did a really good job with that. Overall, I thought it was a really nice video, and it was like easy to navigate what part of the project he was specifically talking about. Next is Belle Arguello. She highlights that there are different loves, different types of loves. That love, just in general, is care and deep affection for something. And I have to agree, that's what I said in my video as well, that it is having a deep affection for someone or something, like care and affection. She also says that different people feel love / experiences love in different ways. And I also have to agree with that. I did say that there are different types of love. So, and like people have different experiences with love. Maybe it's good, maybe it was bad, but everybody has a different experience with love. She highlights that she suggests that there are three main types of love, which is like familiar, friendly, and then romantic. So like platonic, familiar, romantic love. And then what I found really interesting was what she said is your family is how you first learn to love, and then you carry that on to when you have your friends, you learn how to love them and navigate that, but then that also shapes how you love your partner, your like significant other. I found that interesting because I didn't look at it that way, but I like that perspective that she had. I like how she also describes her own like how she feels love, I guess. She says she feels it in her chest and is warm and fuzzy. I don't think I've experienced it that way. But I do like how she mentioned her own personal experience. And then she explains that Black and Sugar's romantic love. She relates it to herself. So she says it's easy for her to feel love, but then however for Black it might not be easy for him to love Shakur, or vice versa. Shakur might not find it easy to love Black. And I liked how she really tied it all together. Next is Michaela Clark. She says that love is a deep emotional attachment, loyalty, and a lot of affection. And she also mentions how communication is really important in a relationship, as well as just love in general. Which I would have to agree. I like how she also mentions, or not mentions, but relates it to like this project, or kind of her personal own experience, kind of a sort. That section to her and her boyfriend, she mentions that, and how like she mentions that they loved to see each other succeed. So really meaning that they support each other. She kind of took a different aspect, or different route than I thought she was going to take, especially different from me, Nathaniel, and Belle. So she says that Black and Shakur, she kind of explains that Shakur is, it's not necessarily romantic. That Shakur is interested in Black really because he's like fulfilling a hole that her husband left. That Black will step up and really be a good protector and a financial provider, not necessarily looking at the romantic part of it. And then that Black is just in his pride. Kind of Black views Shakur as nothing but a prize and to be won, instead of actually showing his vulnerability and true love. Which I would have to kind of disagree, because like to be exiled, I just don't think that's kind of the emotion that was shown. I don't think that's true at all. Their build up, and when he tried to see her, and like how he remembered everything about her, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, she's pretty, that's about it, that's why I wanted her. Like, that's not it at all. Like, the memories they shared and everything, it was all highlighted in the chapters for a specific reason, not just for him to be to show her off as a prize, but like actually loving her. But anyways, she says that they're always going to be on guard with each other, and so they won't be able to actually truly love each other. Their communication is not that, it's very strategic, not that great. And then she says that Shakur sacrifices romantic ideals for her children's future, and that kind of reminded me how Nathaniel said that Shakur sacrifices, what's she going to sacrifice to love Black? And then she says that, Michaela says that Black is driven by ego and pride, which is interesting. I don't think that's at all what is being shown in the book. Not at all. But that was definitely a different take or outlook. She says that it's a unique form of intimacy between the two, a deep, unconventional bond. And then that poem shows us that while the form of love is constrained by social forces, the need for it is universal. Which is interesting. It was a very interesting outlook. Her video is very different from the ones I've seen, as well as my own perspective. So it was different. But yeah, overall I did like the videos, and I like responding to this project especially. So yeah.